Alright, what's going on, guys? As you can see, I'm at the mod station here. I've just finished putting the anti-vibration mount together for the GoPro. I actually have a lighter camera coming for this setup, but right now I'm going to show you how all this weighs in and explain to you what I was doing. As you can see, I've got my scale out here because I want to show you guys what's going on. So you know the Hubsan's going to be running with one battery, and I just want to show you what one battery weighs in at here. Okay, we come in at 109 grams with one battery. Okay. So, Dustin Donnell did the flight test with dual batteries, okay, and he said everything was fine. It was a little heavy, it felt, but he managed to get a 27-minute flight with dual batteries, okay, which is pretty impressive. So let's put two batteries on there and see what that weighs out at. Okay, 218 grams, pretty heavy. So, the setup that I have going on here is going to be the SEMA X8W legs, and I'm actually going to go ahead and trim all of this out with my router. I'm going to cut the whole inside of this out and try to take as much weight out of those legs as I can, but I want to show you right now what the legs weigh in at. Okay, if I can get this to work. I was having a problem with this earlier. They didn't want to settle on the scale right, but if I can't get them on here good, if I just can't get them to work on here good, guys, what we'll do is I'll just tell you what they came in at. They came in at 28.6 or something like that. Well, anyways, I had them on there at 28.6. So, and that was comfortably on there. They were on there good. So 28.6, we're just going to go with that. I'm not going to keep fiddling with that. And let me show you what the GoPro Hero and the anti-vibration mount weigh now. Okay, so we come in at 162 grams. All right, so it is basically 200 grams, just about 200 grams with this setup mounted on this right here, okay? And with two batteries, it is 217 grams. So basically what we're doing, okay, is we are going to be adding the extra weight of two batteries together plus one battery already inside of this is how that's going to weigh. So this is basically what we're adding to the Hubsan plus one battery already inside of it. So that's quite a bit of weight, guys. You know, but I still think the Hubsan might struggle with it a little bit, but it should be fine. I think it'll be fine. We just may get shorter flight times and you really don't want to push it hard like this, but I think we still will be fine. We are going to be under 218 grams with the entire setup. We're going to be probably at like 198 or 199. So 200 grams for the entire setup here. So basically it's going to be running one battery at 100 grams, and then we're adding another 200 grams of weight to it right here. Brushless motors, never had any problems with this quad. I think we will be fine. I'm going to go ahead and just set this up how I was thinking about doing it, and temporary. That way if this doesn't work and I don't like it, we can just change it all back to how it was, okay? So let me finish getting these legs on and getting everything set up, and then I'll show you what it looks like here. Alrighty, guys, as you can see, everything's installed. I just lightly hot glued everything so that it was sturdy. I even lightly hot glued the anti-vibration mount kit right on the bottom there. Everything I put on can be taken off fairly easily. I will tell you right now, it is pretty heavy. I can definitely tell that it's carrying two extra batteries. That's definitely what it feels like it's carrying two of these, plus the one that's inside of it. So that's all we have basically done, is added the weight of two batteries to this, plus the battery that's already inside of it. So each one of these weighs 109 grams. This comes in actually under what two batteries weighs. This comes in at like 198 grams altogether, legs and everything. So basically 300 grams of weight is what it's carrying, plus its body mass. It's carrying basically the weight of three batteries. Alright guys, I figured what the heck, I got 9 satellites, it's quiet outside. I've got the quadcopter bound here, the Hubsan. We'll go ahead and just take it up a little bit. I got currently 9 satellites, it's been sitting for a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and take off, and then we will start the timer that I have ready to go over there in the corner. Let's arm these motors. This is back on Superflyer again, and we're going to run this battery and see exactly how long a flight we get. It was definitely a little heavier trying to take off, that's for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up here a little ways. We'll move it over just a tad, and we'll let it sit for a sec. All right, I'm gonna immediately start this timer here, and we're gonna watch things and see what happens here. And we are at 6.9. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back down. And cut the motors. And the battery jumped back up to 7.2. And that was at almost 7 minutes of flight. So we will stop that there. Show you guys. So if you were still moving and flying, if you were actually flying this forward, you could probably get 8 minutes of flight like this. We are back inside after the flight. It's about 40 seconds later. I've grabbed each one of the legs. The motors do not feel hot at all. Not even the copper areas feel hot. So it didn't really work the motors too hard at all. I thought they were going to be very warm, and they're not. So let's pull the battery out here. 40 seconds later, coming up on a minute. The battery feels warm. It doesn't even feel like it worked hard. Let's go have a feel at the board here. Board feels normal, and that feels pretty normal. I'm not feeling very much heat in here at all, guys. So I don't think that it really pushed this quad hard. I think it has no problem carrying this kind of weight. If the battery was a little more high performance, I think you could probably get a pretty good flight with the Hubsan. Somebody was saying that they did this and everything smelled hot, and it just felt hot. I have no heat coming off this at all. Let me smell this real quick. It doesn't even smell like anything got warm at all. Normally when I fly this regularly, this battery gets hot. It's not hot at all. It's just basically warm. So if I was to conclude something, I would say it can handle this weight. The battery, unfortunately, is the problem. Well, guys, sorry about that. Had to stop for a second and take care of something. I would conclude that the battery, if we could get a higher milliamperage battery, I think the quad can handle this setup just fine. Now, I have just changed something here since we last talked. I kind of forgot to get back to recording. Started a little project again, so what I've done is I've removed the anti-vibration mount and saved myself about 42 grams by doing that. I put the regular GoPro snap in, snap out, snap in, snap off GoPro mount back on there. Saved myself about 40 grams, 40 or 42 grams. And I am going to shave this out of here, so I'm going to take these off, shave them. I'm going to go ahead and leave the legs on there for good. I'm going to drill a hole through the bottom of the legs so I can still access the screw that's in there when I go to put these back on. But for right now, we're going to leave it because tomorrow I want to test this and see how well it does, what kind of footage it gets. I'm expecting at least 8 minutes of flight like this. And I like the setup because if I just remove the camera, it should just about fly its normal flight time. I may lose about, 45 seconds to a minute having the legs on there. And not having the camera on there for regular flight, but should be fine. I'm also looking at getting the GoPro Hero 4 Session. It's a much smaller camera, a lot lighter, and it takes really, really clean footage, so we'll probably end up doing that. I am going to go ahead and just leave the standard GoPro mount on there, and not really worried about a gimbal right now, like a 2-axis or single-axis gimbal. I think I'll be just fine with what I've got for the moment, and I think this is great. If we could get a higher milliamperage battery for this and still run it at 10C, that would be awesome. I think this would get some pretty extreme flight times carrying some weight. But like I said, this GoPro comes in at about 110 grams, almost 120 grams. This is a very heavy camera, and the quad obviously feels the effects of that. But I'll tell you what, it didn't even get hot. It felt like it barely broke a sweat to carry all, 300 grams of weight basically between, one battery and the rest of the stuff. It was 300 grams of weight plus the mass of the quad, and it, like I said, it didn't even break a sweat. The problem was the battery discharged really fast trying to carry the camera. So, none of the components felt like they got hot. Nothing felt like it overworked itself. It lifted it up just fine. I gave it a little throttle and it would shoot up pretty quick. So the, hardest part for the quad was just the initial takeoff. It took a minute to get off the ground. Once it got off the ground, it didn't seem to have any problems with this setup. Like I said, the issue I think at hand is the battery is just not cut out for carrying the camera. And so you're looking at probably about 8.5 minutes of flight carrying a GoPro like this. Or even the Hero 3 or the Hero 4, if you guys can knock the weight back on that. See, my problem is the camera I bought has to have the case. I can't remove it from the case. So if you guys could get a GoPro Hero 3 or 4 and remove the weight of the case, and mount it on there, then you would be gravy. But, because that would come in at like what, 70 grams as opposed to 110 grams. There's just a ton of stuff you can do to lose weight. And I am looking at the GoPro Hero 4 Session. So a very small square camera and takes pretty good footage. But I'm fine with this for right now. This is a nice setup if I just want to grab some really clean footage for 5 or 6 minutes of flight. And other than that, I can just use the standard camera. I'm going to go ahead and finish these legs and actually mount them for good like this. So I'm getting ready to go to bed, guys. I just spent almost close to 30 minutes on this too here. That boat is awesome for a small brushless boat. It's hobby grade. I have a grub screw that's stripped out, so now I'm going to have to drill one of the grub screws out of there, but not bad. That's a very fun boat. It seems to be doing very, very well. Chinese made, surprisingly. It is very fun. It's got a 3500 kV motor, runs on a 25C 1800 milliamp 11.1 volt 3S battery, which is just psychotic for such a small boat. Things like just over 12 inches long, water cooled, just ridiculousness. So that boat is pretty awesome. If you guys, well, most of you guys have been watching all my videos about that. So. But I'm getting ready to wrap it up. We will be doing some more testing. As you guys know, I'm trying to figure out a gimbal situation or even just this camera mount situation that would work great for this quad. And now that I know that it's really not going to break a sweat or affect any of the components really, I feel like I could probably start testing some different cameras and see what works best for me. But I'm going to go ahead and match up camera weight. I do have the Ekin H9 coming, which I think weighs less than the GoPro and still takes HD footage. I don't know if it's better than the GoPro. I highly doubt it is. Maybe a little comparable. But the only downside to this setup is that with this camera being such a wide angle lens, I can actually see the legs inside the footage, but man, does that camera take much cleaner footage than the Hubsan does, and I would be good with a quick, 6-minute flight of something I really wanted to get some clean footage of. But I really do want to get a better camera than just that one. That was more for like vlogging and simple action shots and stuff like that. I need to actually get a Hero 4 Session or something like that. So start the saving again. And I've got the little brother to this coming. It's actually the identical size to this one, but it is brushed, and this is brushless. So we're actually going to do a comparison of the brushed versus the brushless. The other one says it goes 30 kilometers an hour. This one says it goes 50 kilometers an hour. And I bet you, if you clock this, it goes about 28 miles per hour, which is pretty darn fast for a $80 boat. So anyways, guys, I'm calling it drone worship, and I'm out. Toodaloo.